guys, welcome to Ally Edge. So today's project, I'm trying to get the grill to sit in here correctly, and it sticks up about 1 inch right here and then 1 inch on this side because it's obviously flat, and you can see the peak in the center of the grill right here. So what I'm doing is I marked it with tape, and that's on that center. I'm not sure if you can see that through the grill. There's a center piece of flat strap that runs through here. This is all stainless steel. So it should bend pretty easy, I'm not sure, but I'm building a jig for it right now. And what I'm doing is I have a piece of 1/4 inch, what is this? Yeah, it's pretty thick, 1/4 inch flat strap. And then I'm building a jig on the table. And then I'm gonna mark it, grind it, and I'll sit this flat strap down the side of it, weld it on both sides, make sure it's 90 degrees up and down, and I'll run my welding magnets on the side of it like this. You know, so it's straight up and down. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build kind of a press and use the table for a press so I can pull down on this side and pull down on this side, running that grill right through the center there. So it should work in theory. I have one of these. Heidi's uncle that just passed away yesterday. He brought this stuff over to us and we cut the grill out of it. And like I said, it's a stainless steel grate out of a hospital floor. And you can see the flat strap down in here. So I'm very thankful that he gave me this, and that was really cool. So I'm gonna try to do this one time without screwing it up, because I don't wanna cut all the way down through the center and V-butt it and then weld it back together. I don't wanna see that weld seam, because then I'd have to build like a chrome strip or something, and it's gonna divide the grill, and I don't wanna do that. So let's see what we can do. So I stuck those bolts down through the table, and then stood this piece up, used a 1, 2, 3 block off the table to make sure it was 100% square and plumb and true and all that good stuff. And then, well, it's still hot, I don't want to touch it, and then welded a bolt here, and then this whole thing just drops right through the table. It works really good. And then, if I need to build other jigs or whatever, I already have a jig established for this table, and I could take it, lift it out, turn it 180 and drop it right back in. So, all the holes are good there. So if I need to build something later on or whatever, I'll just put this jig in my, the parts that I use for my table, this welding table. And then that way I'll have something to build off of later or whatever. But anyways, next step is I need to figure out something to, I might use wood or maybe tape this and put metal on top of it. I don't want to scratch it all up and mess it all up. So I don't know if we're gonna polish it or what we're gonna do with it. And then build some clamps that'll pull down to the table. I don't know if I'm gonna bolt them or if I'm gonna clamp them. We'll see what happens. Well, it looks like it's gonna be harder than I thought it was gonna be. I got a little torch. I'll flip the camera around in a minute, but I got a little torch set up. I'm gonna try to heat that center piece right down the middle and see if it'll flex, but not flex, but bend. But the stainless steel acts like it's more springy than just regular steel. So thought I'd put a big old chunk in the center, but I didn't. It was just junk from that tape. But right down the center where I want it to bend, it's kind of more doing this round like that. And what I'll do is I'll flip the camera on and show you what I'm talking about. This stuff will really mess with the camera. You can see the waves and stuff coming off of it. It acts funny because of the lines, but you can see what it's doing. It's just rounding, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted to, have like a break in it. So it matches this point right here. And then at the bottom too, so I don't know what to do. I think I'm gonna maybe run a long piece like I was planning on in the first place from here to here. Use a different style jig or clamp or something on the outsides. And then I'm gonna take that little torch and see if I can heat it enough where it'll kind of kick it down, break it in the middle. I want it to be broke right there so it's nice and angled, but I don't know. Let me see what I can come up with. So I got it to bend a little tiny bit, and that's it. And I had this bitch all the way from here down to the table, clamps and standing on it and everything else. And then I heated this center. Should be cool by now. Yeah, it's a little warm, but it's not. but there's no way to like get it hot, you know. I was just hoping a little bit of heat would have helped it bend down, but bend it on both sides, touching the table with clamps, and then, you know, that's all I got. What is that, like 3/8 of an inch on each side? At the most, 3/8 or, you know, whatever. Not much. Frustrating. So back to the drawing board. I gotta figure out some other kind of clamping method and go from there. We'll see what happens. All right, so I'm out at our other shop. So what happened is I kept, you know, bending it and then it would spring back and then bending it and spring back. So I'm doing this right now. It's not really set up, excuse me, it's not really set up the way I want to do it. I got it on the press. I'll flip the camera around and show you what I'm doing. This is kind of a temporary deal to see if it's gonna work. And then I'll get rid of the piece of wood and get a better piece of wood to put in there. And I'm using wood because it's soft. It kind of digs into the metal a little bit so it doesn't just blast off there or slip off there with metal. So I'm, you know, I have this piece here, which is gonna come down and press in the center of this. And you can see I have a little bit of pressure on it right now. And then I put wood on the outside because I didn't want to damage this. And then that way it can kind of slide a little bit. And then I put these are like old forklift forks that are cut down so that we could use on the press. And I made it where, you know, they're stacked, bumped up against here so this can't slide out. And then same thing on this side. Big piece of lumber and then two old forklift forks. So that's what I'm working on right now. So you can see how it was springing back, and I just let the press off, and I did bend it, so it's bent a little bit. But I still not real happy about that center not bending. But I did look at I was talking to Glenn Ridd, NZ Mopar, and he was saying, you know, make a profile or whatever. So I just cut out a cardboard profile gauge or whatever you want to call it. I'll go grab that. It's still in the truck. I'll pull this out of the press, and then I'll check the profile and see where we're at. And one of the things I wanted to tell you guys too is for your safety, don't be a dumbass. Wear some safety glasses. You know, it's not the press that worries me. It's the parts coming out of the press. Or let me flip this. I've been using presses before doing forklift tires, and they're the big metal forklift wheels or whatever. Pressing those and had one of these blow up. Well, if you hit that, if that ends up hitting you in the eye, I mean, that'll take parts off. That's real dangerous, so you gotta be real careful with that. And then the other thing is, you know, stuff comes flying out of the press. A lot of the newer presses have that big guard in the front of them, which I think is kind of stupid, but because it's useless. But we were out here one day and I was working with one of the guys who used to work for us, and a part shot from the press, and it hit that wall back there. And it was just like, boom, it sounded like a shotgun going off. So, you know, that was kind of scary. But anyways, enough of the life story here. So I made this template, I guess you'd call it, or radius gauge out of cardboard. So I'll get this pulled off and check it and see where we're at. Well, I'm awake now. I was using the press and that board exploded all over the place. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the torch and I'll try to warm up that grill. I got it to bend about a 1/2 inch, I guess, about 3/4. But then the board just blew out of there. That's why I was saying about wearing safety glasses. Perfect example. And then I'm gonna take the torch. I'll run some line over there and heat that bitch up all the way down the middle on both sides of that flat strap right in the center. And then I'll use the press to push it down, because what's going on is right now I was getting 3 inches out of it. I was pushing it down and letting up, and it would come back up. I went all the way down to 3 inches of, you know, with the press pushing it down 3 inches into the grill. And when I let up, it came all the way back up. So it's just, you know, it's like spring steel almost. It just keeps releasing and going back up there. So I'll go ahead and warm it up and see what I can do and go from there. All right, well, I came back from the other shop and sat it in here. I have a little bit of play right here this way, but I need to cut that edge. There's a 1/2 inch lip around the back side of the grill I'm gonna cut that out and I'm gonna sink it inside the car so that you can see how it looks. But right now I'm pretty happy with the results. And then that way that'll take care of that lip around the edge here and make it nice and clean so that reveal looks really nice. And that'll be the next step.